That now takes us to the next panel discussion. So the next panel discussion will be moderated by Carla Lampy, Director for New South Wales Department of Industry, and she'll be joined by our previous speakers in session 2, as well as Wendy Carroll from Jobs for New South Wales and Matthew Williams, the Director of New South Wales Department of Industry. Please come up to the stage.
All right, is this working? Yes, hello. Thanks to our panellists for their comments earlier today. I certainly think that there's lots of opportunities for businesses to get involved in our state and in the infrastructure and energy opportunities that we've discussed. I might, if it's okay with you, Wendy, ask you to say a few words, as you weren't speaking on the panel before, a bit about the health cluster and what your vision is for the cluster, and what are some of the initiatives and programs that you've either got planned or underway to help bring that vision to life.
Thank you, Carla. Hi, I'm Wendy Carroll. I work with Jobs for New South Wales. Jobs for New South Wales, just very briefly, is an agency within the New South Wales government that is tasked with accelerating the growth of small to medium enterprises with a view to building our technology sector overall, and that includes the health technology side. I was appointed to work on a number of health and education precincts that are under development in New South Wales, one of which is arguably the largest health and education precinct here in Australia, the Westmead precinct. It consists of 4 hospitals, 2 quaternary hospitals, 2 universities, 4 medical research institutes, and employs over 18,000 people today. Now, there's a vision in place to grow that to 50,000, and I guess part of what I've been working on with the different partners to that Westmead precinct is how can we accelerate that? How can we make this precinct attractive to, it already on the fundamentals is attractive to investors, but how do we engage with the broader health community? How do we engage with global business to make this precinct one that is truly globally significant? Now, already the precinct in Westmead boasts world leaders in areas of liver disease, oncology, genomics, proteomics, etc. And again, how do we accelerate the connectivity with that, and how do we ultimately work on breakthroughs that really benefit people's health globally? So that's a very big vision, and like I said, I'm here to help open doors to that industry engagement with the precinct. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks, Wendy. Matt, Kylie spoke about the opportunities of the Aerotropolis, and Wendy just then mentioned how attractive they probably are to investors, particularly people that we've got here in the audience. Can you talk a bit about how the state government can help our friends in the audience actually connect with some of those opportunities within the state?
Sure. My name's Matt Williams. I work with Kylie Bell. So my team is a new function that we've actually set up within the Department of Industry. It's our investment attraction team. As you can tell from the speakers today, investment attraction is a key driver for a lot of the economic activity that government is trying to stimulate, particularly out in Western Sydney and in regional New South Wales. We also went through a large process of an internal review and a new strategy document that told us we weren't very easy to deal with. We weren't very customer-centric. We probably could have done that a bit quicker. But fundamentally, what we've set the team up to be is the front door for potential investors that want to look at allocating capital or launch businesses or services in New South Wales. So within my team, we actually have a brand new function, which is our investment concierge team. And that will be the physical and obviously digital front door to opportunities for foreign direct investment into New South Wales. So that team is led by a lady called Liz Gordon. I can happily put you in contact with our team there. That will have a brand new front door as well through a new website that we're developing. But for us, it's about having one point of contact for investors who want information around the precincts that Wendy's working on, the opportunities around the new Aerotropolis, connecting to the right people into regional New South Wales. So that's one of the key functions we've put into place. We also have a focus around priority sectors, and Kylie touched on a few, and Wendy's obviously focusing on health and medical technologies. So we have 4 investment teams that have specialists in those sectors as well that can assist people like yourselves with developing business cases and supporting you with market information so that they can actually give you the right, I guess, skill sets, the right support to connect with those sector opportunities in New South Wales. So that's the focus of the team at the present. And I think from our point of view, I'm happy to give you out my business cards. There's one phone number, one email address, one brand new website that when you listen to people like us talk, you can actually get on the phone or actually go onto your laptops and connect straight away with the people that can help you.
Great, thanks. I think the message, Matt, is that we're here to help and use us. Is that reasonable to say?
Yes, that's simple.
Mary, Korea has deep and strong technical capabilities in energy in the renewable space. And we've talked about, or you spoke about, the opportunities in New South Wales. You know, we're well placed in terms of our central position in the national energy market. We've got high energy prices, which obviously makes other alternative sources more attractive. We've got a supportive government. What are some of the practical advice and the next steps that you give our audience about how they could get involved with that market and with some of the battery opportunities in New South Wales?
Well, I think understanding the market is important, but needing to connect with people who are local on the ground, who are developers. There are a lot of developers in Australia already working in that space, and they're already building solar farms and wind farms. And we have brought some of that community together, and we're still doing that in events. We're running one in a few weeks' time on how to integrate storage into solar PPAs. A PPA is a power purchase agreement, because it's all very well making solar power, but if you haven't got anybody to take it off and buy that power, then you're really stuck, because what do you do with the power? It's no good to you unless you can sell it. So having the customers to buy the power, and a lot of the work being done in the last year has been in terms of the power purchase agreements with universities. There's a big one with the University of New South Wales, and other groups have bought power in it as a block. And once they make that long-term commitment to that power, then the supplier, the developer, starts to work with that and sets that contract up. And that's one of the steps in the process. Of course, understanding that the regulatory market is the other. We can help you with the report, helps you with that, because that tells you some of the issues. So there's a few steps in the whole process, but you can do them at the same time almost. But making connections locally is really important. And groups like us, we bring people together. We have events. We have an annual event. We have local events. We try and do this across Australia. And we also make collaborations with groups overseas so that we're up to date. We have groups in California, who's also a leader in systems. We're making connections now with Korea and with Germany as well, who's doing a lot of work in batteries. So we're trying to make that so that there's a global community, but then there's also a local community here for you when you come here. Now, that depends on what you do, because we're fairly broad spread. We're trying to cover a lot of issues, but basically we're trying to focus on the large scale, the microgrids, the C&I projects. So that's where our focus mainly is. So,
great, thank you. And Kylie, I've got one question for you, but then I'll throw to the floor, because I'm sure they've got lots of questions for you, and conscious that you've got to leave out shortly. So Kylie, you talked about the Western Sydney, the Aerotropolis. It's real, it's coming. 2026 is when we're going to go live. So if we come back to 2018, you talked about 3 kind of different tiers of companies that you see will have a role. How can they get involved now? What are the practical steps?
Sure.
What do they need to do?
And look, so the opportunities, obviously New South Wales has a $86 billion infrastructure pipeline. So Western Sydney is just one opportunity, but there are opportunities here in the CBD. You would have seen a few weeks ago that the Premier announced a new tech precinct in Everleigh. So the government, and of course there's fantastic opportunities throughout regional New South Wales as well. And Consul General, are you going on the regional trip next week? To parks, and so that next week, no. Okay, we'll be on the bus together. Have fun. You'll have fun with me. So I guess the first thing is the New South Wales government is open for business. We are the country's largest economy. And there are, as we mentioned, a lot of opportunities. There's a number of ways to connect in with us. We ourselves are not the decision maker for many of the procurement opportunities that you will see coming up over the next 24 months. But I see us playing a strong role in helping you to navigate the various departments and the various agencies across government and private sector so that we can help you more effectively, I guess, get involved in the projects. So the first, I think, is the investment concierge. So we would like to be your concierge to help you across the state identify some of those business opportunities. The tenders will be obviously announced on sort of the New South Wales Government website and the Western Sydney Airport website and so on. But I think the key to being successful in Australia, particularly in some of the infrastructure space, is to get in early, form partnerships. The Japanese have been increasingly successful with this, and we're seeing the same thing with Korean businesses, as well as some of the European businesses, is form partnerships with some of the players in Australia so that you are well educated, you know what's coming up in the pipeline, and importantly, you have, I guess, a strong team around you to start to bid for some of those projects. The second thing is the government is also open to unsolicited bids. So if you have an idea of an opportunity that you might like to take forward, that's another process you can use. But I think the main thing is, obviously you've come today, and so I think the main thing is being well networked with both businesses from across Australia, but also other multinationals that are interested here, and spending as much time with government and anyone who will listen, really, to let them know of your intentions and your interests, so that when project teams are being formed or when opportunities are being announced, we can make sure you know and that you're connected in with them. So the more you tell us about your interests and the more you communicate with the government, the more we can help you. And we are very keen to ensure that the trade and investment opportunities between our two countries grow. So that, and we are also very keen to ensure that as we design some of these new projects and major pieces of infrastructure over the next 10 years, that we do really take the best of the best from around the world to create an incredible smart city, livable city that will put, Western Sydney on the global map. So, and that's where we see what you have done in South Korea. We see that as a great partnership that we can pursue further.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. Can I open questions up to the floor now, if you'd like to ask a question of anyone on our panel? Yes, gentleman over there. Could you, sorry, just there's a microphone just coming. If you wouldn't mind just standing up and saying your name.
I have a very simple question for Kylie. Do you have any plan for the high-speed train between New Airport and Sydney?
Not at this stage. No, it's not in the current land use and infrastructure plan, but I know it's been talked about extensively, and this airport and the precinct itself might finally create the impetus and the business case to be able to build in that high street train, but not at this point in time, no.
No other questions? Well, we are running, I think, about 25 minutes late, so it might be nice to wrap up at this stage. And I'd like to thank all of our panel members today, and we'll hand over to you, Liz. No, that's okay. Thank you.
Please join me in thanking the panellists. I am going to ask the photographer to just take a quick photo, maybe if the panellists, and Alice, maybe if you would like to come up and join, and we'll just take a quick photo, and then you can go back to your seats. If everyone can just bear with me for 30 seconds. Do you just want to stand up? Great, thank you very much. So that does bring us to the end of the formal speeches, but I would now like to welcome back Mr. Simon Yu, who's representing the board of the Australia-Korea Business Council, to make some concluding remarks.
Thank you very much, Consul General Yoon and Consulate, for organizing this event with the AKBC, together with the support of the Australia-Korea Foundation. And thank you to Jonathan Odier, MP, for staying all the way to the end. It shows us how important Korea investment is to New South Wales. And thank you very much to all our speakers who have shared their insights with us, and also for all the participants in the room for attending. And we look to you to take away some of the key points of the conference and grow the Australia-Korea relationship. I find that this is really events like these that help promote the business activities between the two countries and identify opportunities for further growth. For me, the four key takeaways of today's forum include the following. On the cultural side, relationship. And that goes to direct versus indirect communication. But I think for me, what indirect communication means is that you build the relationship first before you directly talk about your agenda. And secondly, on the cultural side, understanding each other's way of working. That includes the meeting styles as well. Understanding that on the Korean side, there is a hierarchy that needs to be respected. Therefore, just because the people who may be less junior may keep quiet for most of the meetings doesn't mean they don't have any opinions. So I would strongly encourage Australian partners to understand that and perhaps follow up the meeting with a separate conversation. And another point of style of working, I liked what Simon said about don't put the Korean side on the spot in making a decision right at the meeting, and give them time to digest and fully understand the points that were made. On the investment side, I've been very eager to introduce and let known the opportunities, especially Aerotropolis. It's a $20 billion project. I believe Korea has so much to offer. We have one of the best airports in the world that's consistently rated #1 in the world, the Incheon Airport. We have the new Incheon City, which is one of the first global smart cities. So we have the experience, we have the knowledge to really contribute to Aerotropolis and the second airport. So I would like to ask the Korean side, first of all, to take more interest in this opportunity. I believe you have a lot to offer, and I would like to ask the New South Wales government to also take more interest in the Korean business community in understanding what they have to offer and their experiences from Korea. And lastly, on the investment side, it goes to what I just said. I think both sides need to utilize the resources that are available. I think Daniel Burrows made a very good point. There's so much resources available on both the Korea side, like KOTRA, and on the Australian side, like Austrade and the state trade and investment offices. So I would really encourage more proactive and direct communication between all the parties. So lastly, with my AKBC director hat on, we hope that everyone in this room is aware of the activities and efforts made by the Australia-Korea Business Council to boost our trading relationship. As Liz mentioned earlier, the biggest event that we hold in the annual joint meeting between the Australia-Korea Business Council and Korea-Australia Business Council. And this year's joint meeting will be the 39th time we meet. The Australian delegation will be led by AKBC Chairman Mark Vaile, and the Korean delegation will be led by the CEO of POSCO, Australia's single largest customer. We encourage everyone here today with an interest in Korea to attend this meeting to further the economic relationship and grow their networks. I have personally attended these events for the past 4 years and have found it a useful platform to network with senior executives in Australia-Korea businesses, to do deals and understand the latest trends and insights relating to the Australia-Korea relationship. So finally, thank you again. We look forward to working with you to grow the New South Wales, Korea, and Australia-Korea relationship. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that, Simon. That now brings us to the conclusion of the formal proceedings today. I'd like to invite you all to thank the speakers one last time before we finish up today.
여러분, 오늘 포럼에 참석해 주신 분들과 발표해 주신 분들과 다시 한번 감사드립니다. 오늘 포럼을 통해 한국과 뉴사우스웨일즈의 관계가 한 걸음을 더 다가갈 수 있는 기회가 되셨으면 좋겠습니다.
네, 오늘 포럼에 참가하신 모든 분들이 유용한 정보를 얻어가셨으면 좋겠습니다. 자, 이제 드디어 만찬을 시작하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much. We'd just like to invite everyone to join us for some lunch outside and have a great day. Thank you.